In the past few days, we have received somber news about the passing of extraordinary talents. Today's episode is dedicated to honoring their memory. Additionally, we will recap the stars we have recently lost. Before we begin, we kindly ask for your support. If this video or the legacies of these remarkable individuals have touched your life, please consider giving this video a thumbs up as a sign of respect and remembrance. Thank you. Some artists chase fame, others chase truth. Jill Sobule strummed it into song, and in doing so, gave voice to those who never had one. She wasn't just a singer-songwriter. Jill was a storyteller, a wanderer, and a quiet revolutionary. Her songs weren't written for charts. They were written for connection. For anyone who ever felt different, unseen, or unheard, her music offered a warm, wry, and unwavering light. Jill Sobule passed away at the age of 66, following a house fire in Woodbury, Minnesota, on May 1, 2025. She had been preparing to return to her hometown of Denver to perform songs from her autobiographical musical, FCK 7th Grade, a project that, like her, was both funny and deeply human. Rising to prominence in the 1990s, Jill made headlines with I Kissed a Girl, one of the first openly queer anthems to reach the Billboard Top 20. That same year, her song Supermodel became a defining moment in the film Clueless. But even after the spotlight faded, Jill continued to create with passion and purpose, releasing 12 albums, collaborating with fellow musicians, and pioneering crowdfunding to produce her own work. Her lyrics carried weight. Whether singing about love, politics, or identity, she met each topic with honesty and humor. She was a songwriter's songwriter, beloved in the artist community for her fearless creativity and generous spirit. Jill Sobule didn't just sing songs. She offered lifelines. She brought laughter into difficult spaces and reminded us that vulnerability is not weakness, it's art. And though she may no longer be here to tell the stories, her music will go on speaking for her and for all of us. Mike Peters wasn't just a rock star, he was a life force. His voice didn't just fill arenas, it carried hope. His music didn't just stir hearts, it helped save lives. Best known as the frontman of the Welsh rock band The Alarm, Mike Peters passed away at age 66 from complications related to Richter's syndrome, a rare and aggressive form of lymphoma. But numbers and diagnoses cannot capture the fire that burned within him. Rising from the seaside town of Prestatyn, Peters helped launch The Alarm in the early 1980s. Their breakout anthem, 68 Guns, became a rallying cry for resilience, followed by hits like Strength and Blaze of Glory. Their sound was bold, anthemic, and unmistakably honest, traits that reflected Mike himself. Sharing stages with the likes of U2, Queen, and Bob Dylan, he remained grounded, always drawing strength from his roots in Wales. Behind the music was a man who lived with blood cancer for over 3 decades. Diagnosed first in the 1990s, Mike faced each challenge with bravery, often performing between treatment cycles. Alongside his wife, Jules, he co-founded Love Hope Strength, a global cancer charity that has helped register over 250,000 stem cell donors, turning concerts into opportunities for healing. Mike Peters never stopped singing, never stopped fighting, never stopped giving. Whether on stage in front of thousands or walking quietly between hospital wards to raise awareness, he was a voice for courage, for unity, for life. His songs still echo, his mission still inspires, and his light, fierce and unwavering, will long outlive the spotlight. Breaking news. Today, we shine a heartfelt spotlight on a musical legend whose voice, spirit, and resilience have shaped generations. Stevie Wonder, the man behind some of the most powerful anthems of love, justice, and hope, remains not only an icon in music but a living testament to perseverance and human creativity. At 74, his recent appearance at the 2025 Met Gala reminded the world that true brilliance never fades, it only evolves. What has Stevie Wonder's music meant to your life? Share your memories in the comments as we explore his extraordinary journey. Born Stevland Hardaway Morris on May 13, 1950, in Saginaw, Michigan, Stevie Wonder came into the world under challenging circumstances. Premature birth led to a condition that caused permanent blindness, but rather than let this limit him, it became the backdrop to one of the most inspirational stories in modern music. From a very early age, Stevie demonstrated a profound connection to sound, rhythm, and melody. By age 11, he was signed to Motown Records under the name Little Stevie Wonder, and at just 13, he topped the Billboard Hot 100 with his live recording of Fingertips. It was clear, this young boy had something the world had never seen before. Through the 1970s, Stevie Wonder's career soared into a creative orbit few have ever reached. Albums like Talking Book, Inner Visions, and Songs in the Key of Life are not just musical works, they are emotional landmarks. They reflect a deep understanding of the human condition, touching on everything from social injustice to spiritual longing and romantic devotion. During this era, he won Album of the Year at the Grammys 3 times in 4 years, an unprecedented feat that speaks volumes about his genius. But Wonder's artistry was never limited to music alone. He became a powerful voice for civil rights, using his platform to advocate for change. One of his most notable contributions was leading the campaign to establish Martin Luther King Jr. Day as a national holiday in the United States. His song, Happy Birthday, written in honor of Dr. King, became an anthem for the movement. In every sense, Stevie Wonder was, and remains, an artist of the people. Despite his incredible success, Stevie's path was not without obstacles. In 1973, he survived a serious car accident that left him in a coma for several days. The incident challenged him physically and emotionally, but as always, he returned stronger. And more recently, in 2019, he made the difficult decision to pause touring so he could undergo a kidney transplant. His candor in sharing this part of his health journey touched millions. He later assured fans that he was feeling renewed and ready to keep creating, a message that resonated deeply with those who have followed his life's highs and lows. In 2025, Stevie Wonder made a rare and dazzling appearance at the Met Gala, proving once again that his presence remains magnetic. Draped in a long, glittering cape designed by Sergio Hudson, Stevie walked the carpet with his wife, Tamika Robin Bracey, and son, Kayland Morris. The look paid tribute to Black designers and celebrated the event's theme, Superfine, tailoring Black style. On the red carpet, Stevie's words were not only stylish, they were soulful. "Since we were created," he said, "we have created style. Whether be it music, whether be it dance, whether be it the most important thing, love." This was more than a fashion moment. It was a reminder that Stevie Wonder is still a beacon of unity, creativity, and culture. His appearance alongside fellow Motown legend Diana Ross turned the night into a celebration of heritage and longevity, two qualities that define Stevie's journey. At the heart of his resilience is a deeply rooted spirituality and unwavering love for humanity. Stevie has always used his platform to bring people together, believing that love and music are the universal forces that can heal divisions and inspire hope. His message has never wavered, even as the world around him continues to change. Over the decades, Stevie has earned countless accolades: 25 Grammy Awards, an Academy Award, induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and the Presidential Medal of Freedom. But perhaps more meaningful than any trophy is the way his music lives in people's memories, in weddings, in marches, in moments of heartbreak and celebration alike. As we reflect on Stevie Wonder's life and legacy, we are reminded that greatness is not simply measured in success, but in impact. From the Motown stages of Detroit to global arenas, from heartfelt ballads to socially charged masterpieces, Stevie has always offered the world more than just music. He has offered perspective, healing, and love. Even today, in his 7th decade of life, Stevie continues to embody that joy and power. Whether speaking on the red carpet or performing on stage, his voice remains a guiding light, and his presence, draped in shimmering fabric or surrounded by family, reminds us that style, grace, and soul are timeless. What are your favorite Stevie Wonder moments? Which of his songs has helped you through a difficult time or lifted you in celebration? Share your stories in the comments. And if Stevie's journey has touched your heart, please like this video and subscribe for more tributes to the legends who inspire us. Thank you for joining us in honoring Stevie Wonder, a man whose music, courage, and legacy will forever be part of the human soundtrack.
You are still dangerous. You can be my wing.
Val Kilmer was never just an actor. He was a force of nature, brilliant, unpredictable, soulful. To audiences who first met him as the cool, confident Iceman in Top Gun, he seemed larger than life. But behind that steely gaze was a deeply sensitive artist whose journey took him far beyond Hollywood's spotlight. His career shimmered with unforgettable moments. He became Jim Morrison in The Doors, wore the cape as Batman, and brought quiet strength to Tombstone as Doc Holliday. Every role he touched carried his restless spirit, a mix of passion, complexity, and undeniable presence. Even in the height of fame, Val chased something deeper, storytelling that mattered. In 2014, his life changed. A long and private struggle with throat illness challenged his voice, the very tool he once used to command stages and screens. Yet even when speaking became difficult, Val never stopped expressing himself. He painted, he wrote poetry, he filmed, he allowed the world to see his vulnerability through his 2021 documentary Val, offering a rare, intimate window into his soul. Val Kilmer passed away peacefully at home on April 1st, 2025, due to complications from pneumonia. He was 65. Though he faced years of hardship, he met them with grace and humor. Friends like Tom Cruise and Cher remembered him not only for his talent, but for his heart, his courage, and his loyalty. In the end, Val Kilmer remained what he always was, an artist of great depth, a father, a friend, and a storyteller whose silence still speaks volumes. And in the quiet spaces he's left behind, his spirit lingers, gently reminding us that even when the voice fades, the soul endures.
We were struggling actresses. Lucy used to steal all the jobs from me. She did.
Ruth Buzzy, the legendary comedian who brought joy to generations of television viewers, passed away peacefully on May 1st, 2025, at the age of 88, due to complications from Alzheimer's disease. A gifted performer with a heart as big as her laugh, Ruth's presence on screen was unforgettable, from the smallest skit to the biggest stage. Born in 1936 and raised in Connecticut, Ruth began her performing career at just 17 at the Pasadena Playhouse. She found her way into television in the early 1960s, quickly becoming a beloved fixture on variety shows. Her true breakout came in 1968 when she joined the cast of Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. As the unforgettable Gladys Ormsby, complete with hairnet, scowl, and swinging handbag, Ruth became a household name, earning a Golden Globe Award and 5 Emmy nominations. Through Gladys, she gave voice to the overlooked and underappreciated, using humor to uplift and defend the underdog. Her talents extended far beyond sketch comedy. Ruth voiced cherished characters in animated classics like Pound Puppies and the Berenstain Bears, and won hearts as Ruthie the shopkeeper on Sesame Street. She also appeared in numerous films and television shows, including That Girl and Freaky Friday, leaving her joyful mark across genres and generations. Even in her later years, Ruth remained connected with fans, sharing one-liners and warmth through social media. Her spirit, wit, and kindness never faded. To those who watched her with wonder in childhood or laughed with her as adults, Ruth Buzzy was more than a performer. She was a friend, a comfort, and a light. Her legacy of laughter will live on in the hearts of millions who smiled because of her. Our next story remembers a voice that carried both grandeur and loneliness, a man whose melodies became the soundtrack of heartbreak and hope for an entire generation. We're talking about Eric Carman, the gifted singer-songwriter behind timeless classics like All by Myself and Hungry Eyes. Eric Carman passed away peacefully in his sleep in early March 2024 at the age of 74. Though no exact cause was shared, his wife Amy confirmed the news through a heartfelt message on his website. She wrote, "It brought him great joy to know that for decades his music touched so many and will be his lasting legacy." Born in Cleveland, Ohio in 1949, Eric was a child prodigy, classically trained in violin and piano. But everything changed the day he saw the Beatles perform on The Ed Sullivan Show. That night, the concert hall gave way to a stage, and Eric began a journey that would shape modern pop music. As frontman of the Raspberries in the early 70s, Eric challenged the era's hard rock dominance with harmony-driven pop. Their breakout hit Go All the Way shot up the charts, a bold melodic anthem that helped define the power pop genre. Though the band was short-lived, their influence was long-lasting, inspiring artists from Springsteen to Nirvana. But it was Eric's solo work that truly touched the soul. All by Myself, rooted in a Rachmaninoff concerto, became a universal cry of isolation and longing. Hungry Eyes, from Dirty Dancing, captured yearning with cinematic beauty. These weren't just songs, they were emotional landscapes. In later years, Eric stepped away from the spotlight, choosing a quieter life with his wife. He didn't chase trends or fame. He let the music speak, and it still does. So now we ask you, what memories come to mind when you hear All by Myself or Hungry Eyes? What did Eric Carman's voice mean to you? Share your stories in the comments below, and let us remember a musician whose quiet heart gave us some of the loudest emotions in music history.
Talk to me about 50. In this case, I'm going to say
Irv Gotti was more than a music producer. He was a cultural architect, a visionary who reshaped the sound of a generation and helped bring hip-hop into the mainstream with heart, grit, and soul. Born Irving Lorenzo Jr. in Queens, New York in 1971, Irv rose from DJing in the streets of Hollis to building a musical empire. In 1998, he co-founded Murder Inc. Records with his brother Chris, giving rise to a golden era of hip-hop and R&B. Through bold collaborations and an ear for melody, Irv helped launch the careers of Ja Rule and Ashanti, while also producing era-defining hits for Jennifer Lopez, DMX, Fat Joe, and Jay-Z. His signature blend of rugged street energy with smooth R&B hooks produced chart-topping songs like Foolish, I'm Real, and Always on Time. His work earned him a Grammy and a place among the elite producers who defined the early 2000s. Though his career faced setbacks, including legal challenges and public feuds, Irv remained a resilient figure. He later turned to television, producing The Murder Inc. Story and continuing to advocate for artists and authenticity in music. In early 2024, Irv experienced a minor stroke related to complications from diabetes. Though he worked toward recovery, he passed away in February 2025 at the age of 54, surrounded by loved ones. His family remembers him not only as a trailblazer, but as a devoted father and brother. And the industry remembers him as one of its most creative forces, someone who believed deeply in the voices he helped bring to light. Irv Gotti's legacy isn't just heard in the music, it's felt in the culture he helped build. Jean Marsh, the elegant British actress who brought both heart and dignity to the screen, passed away on April 13, 2025, at the age of 90 due to complications from dementia. She was best known to American audiences as Rose Buck, the devoted parlor maid in the groundbreaking series Upstairs, Downstairs, which she co-created with her longtime friend Eileen Atkins. Airing in the 1970s, the show captivated millions on both sides of the Atlantic by telling the intertwined stories of a wealthy London family and their household staff. Marsh's portrayal of Rose earned her a Primetime Emmy Award and secured her place in television history. Born in London in 1934 to a working-class family, Jean knew early on the power of storytelling. Her humble beginnings would later inspire the stories she told, stories of class, resilience, and unseen lives. Trained in dance and drama after a childhood marked by illness and adversity, she went on to have an extraordinary career on stage, in British and American television, and in film. She appeared in Doctor Who, The Twilight Zone, and films like Frenzy, Return to Oz, and Willow, often embracing complex or even villainous roles with relish. She returned as Rose for the Upstairs, Downstairs reboot in 2010, though her role was limited following a minor stroke. Jean was also a novelist and co-creator of the BBC series The House of Eliot. In 2012, she was honored with the title of Officer of the British Empire for her contributions to the arts. Jean Marsh gave voice to those often overlooked. Through her words and performances, she reminded us that every life, upstairs or downstairs, has meaning. Her legacy endures in the quiet strength of the characters she brought to life.
Future, that's my nigga Scooter. You say you a hit, man, but you ain't hit shit.
Young Scooter, the quietly influential voice of Atlanta's streetwise soundscape, passed away on March 28, 2025, at the age of 39, following an accidental leg injury while fleeing from a tense scene outside a home near downtown Atlanta. Born Kenneth Edward Bailey in South Carolina and raised in Atlanta's Kirkwood community, Scooter found his voice through the trials of early life. After a brush with the law in 2008, he turned to music, not for fame, but as a way to tell the truth. His gritty, unfiltered style, which he called count music, echoed the real-life lessons of struggle, survival, and street economics. He rose to prominence as an early signee of Future's Free Bands label and later joined Brick Squad Monopoly, led by Waka Flocka Flame and Gucci Mane. Though never a chart-dominating name, Scooter earned widespread respect through steady mixtapes and powerful collaborations with artists like Future, Young Thug, and Zaytoven. His work appeared on the Billboard Hot 100 with the track Jet Lag in 2018 and continued to resonate with fans who saw themselves reflected in his words. His most recent project, Trap's Last Hope, released in March 2024, reaffirmed his role as a consistent and grounded storyteller within the Southern hip-hop tradition. Scooter's music wasn't about spectacle, it was about reality. His honesty, loyalty to his roots, and commitment to his craft made him a quiet pillar of Atlanta's musical rise. Though his life was cut short, his voice, his rhythm, and his message continue to echo wherever stories of hardship and hope are told.
Many times I tried, just my stubborn pride.
Our next story honors a voice that helped define a generation, one that rose from harmony-filled street corners to the grand stage of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We're talking about Tommy Hunt, the beloved soul singer and original member of the Flamingos. Tommy Hunt passed away peacefully in his sleep on February 12, 2025, at the age of 91. Though the cause of his passing was not disclosed, his final days were marked by grace, quiet dignity, and a lifelong wish that his music would live on. He even requested Sammy Davis Jr.'s "I've Gotta Be Me" be played in his memory, a fitting anthem for a man who lived authentically and gave his all to every note he sang. Born in Pittsburgh in 1933, Tommy Hunt began his career as a young man with dreams that reached far beyond his humble beginnings. He gained fame with the Flamingos, whose haunting rendition of "I Only Have Eyes for You" remains one of the most cherished love songs of the 20th century. As a solo artist, he was the first to record "I Just Don't Know What to Do With Myself," a timeless ballad that showcased his emotional depth. In 2001, the Flamingos were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, a moment that cemented Hunt's place in music history. But more than his voice, fans remember his warmth. He was a gentleman of soul, kind, generous, and quietly powerful. As one tribute read, "He wasn't just an entertainer, he was a warrior." Tommy Hunt's legacy endures, not only in the songs we still hum, but in the hearts he touched across decades. Charlie Scalise, the warm-hearted character actor from Philadelphia, has passed away at the age of 84 after a long journey with Alzheimer's disease. A man of many talents, Scalise found success not only on stage and screen, but also as a devoted husband, father, and grandfather, whose favorite audience, as his family lovingly shared, was always seated around the dinner table. He may be best remembered by television audiences for his memorable role as Thomas "Horseface" Pacusa in the second season of HBO's The Wire. With grit and quiet intensity, Scalise brought life to the stevedore caught in the complex web of loyalty and corruption on the Baltimore docks. He later appeared in a powerful dream sequence on The Sopranos as Coach Molinaro, haunting Tony Soprano with the weight of lost potential. Scalise came to acting later in life, after a successful career in business and quality systems consulting. In the 1990s, he returned to his early love, performing with community theater productions like Guys and Dolls in Chicago. His transition into screen acting brought him to projects such as 12 Monkeys, 2 Bits, Liberty Heights, and Law & Order, reflecting a wide range of roles rooted in everyday humanity. Born above his father's South Philly pool hall, Scalise entertained customers with jokes and impressions as a boy. That joyful spark never left him. Whether in front of a camera or at a family gathering, he had a rare ability to connect with people. Charlie Scalise leaves behind a legacy of honest, heartfelt performances and a life lived with purpose and generosity. He is survived by his beloved wife of 62 years, Angeline, 5 children, and 4 grandchildren. His work continues to resonate with audiences who appreciate authenticity, character, and the quiet power of a well-told story.
A praise reserved for the...
Bill Fay was never a household name, but to those who found his music, he was unforgettable. Born in London in 1943, Fay crafted gentle, searching songs that touched the soul, the kind of melodies you discovered late at night, like a friend whispering truths you always needed to hear. He passed away peacefully at his London home on February 22, 2025, at the age of 81. His first 2 albums, Bill Fay, 1970, and Time of the Last Persecution, 1971, found little commercial success in their time, but decades later, they were rediscovered by a new generation. Artists like Wilco, The War on Drugs, and Mark Almond praised and covered his work, drawn to its honesty and grace. Faye's comeback began quietly with Life is People in 2012, followed by 2 more acclaimed albums and a final project he was still writing, just a month before his passing. Throughout his life, Faye remained grounded, working as a groundskeeper and fruit picker, rarely performing live and making just 1 TV appearance. For him, music wasn't about fame. It was about the corner of a room, a piano, and the timeless search for meaning. He faced obscurity, not with bitterness, but with humility. "I'm thankful," he once said, "that side of my life has continued, finding songs in the corner of the room." Bill Faye's songs, like The Healing Day and Be Not So Fearful, offer quiet strength, reflections of a man who sought to understand the world rather than conquer it. His legacy isn't in the spotlight, but in the hearts he gently stirred. And for those who listened, his voice will always remain.
Father, wake up! Don't leave us!
For those who cherish the golden age of television, the name Olive Sturgis brings back memories of a time when westerns ruled the airwaves and stories were told with heart, humor, and integrity. Born in British Columbia in 1933 and raised in Vancouver, Olive's journey to Hollywood was inspired by a single moment of magic, watching Mary Martin soar through the air in Peter Pan. That childhood dream carried her to California, where she studied at Whittier College and trained at the Beverly Hills Playhouse. Her talent was quickly noticed, and she signed a contract with Universal International Studios, beginning a career that would span over 300 episodes of television. From Rawhide to Bonanza, Maverick to The Virginian, Olive was a constant and beloved presence in America's living rooms throughout the 1950s and 60s. She had a rare warmth on screen, fresh-faced, quick-witted, and entirely at home whether playing a tomboy or a pioneer. Her most iconic film role came in 1963's The Raven, where she starred alongside legends Vincent Price, Boris Karloff, and Peter Lorre. In her later years, Olive lived quietly in Los Angeles, still responding to fan letters and reflecting fondly on a time when, as she said, stories had a beginning, middle, and end, and left you feeling good. She passed peacefully on February 19, 2025, at the age of 91, shortly after losing her longtime home to a wildfire. Though she stepped away from the spotlight decades ago, Olive Sturgis remains a shining part of television history, a gentle talent whose legacy lives on in every frame she graced. Phyllis De Pichoto, the visionary force behind one of California's most beloved cultural institutions, has passed away at the age of 84. Through decades of tireless passion, she helped transform Santa Barbara into a vibrant hub for cinema and conversation, making her mark not through the spotlight, but by creating one for others. Born in Chicago in 1940 and raised in Los Angeles, Phyllis always had a love for storytelling. After studying literature at Northwestern and UCLA, she found herself drawn to the magic of independent film. Her career began not in a boardroom, but in the aisles of art house theaters, working with Lemmel Theaters to program thought-provoking series and build bridges between filmmakers and audiences. Her gift wasn't just in choosing the right films, it was in knowing how to bring people together around them. In 1983, Phyllis moved to Santa Barbara, and just 3 years later, from a modest gathering in her living room, the Santa Barbara International Film Festival was born. With her vision and persistence, it grew into a world-class event, welcoming premieres, retrospectives, and conversations that celebrated the art of storytelling in all its forms. From red carpets to late-night panels, SBIF became a home for dreamers. In her final years, Phyllis battled heart complications, but even as her health declined, her spirit never wavered. She was still reading, still dreaming, still believing in the next great story waiting to be told. Hollywood remembers stars, but Santa Barbara remembers the woman who gave it its own stage. Phyllis De Pichoto didn't just love movies, she loved what they meant, and through her work, her legacy will keep playing on. Breaking news. Barbra Streisand at 83, the voice that refuses to fade. What drives the legend to keep creating? She has conquered every stage, won every major award, and shaped generations with her voice and vision. But just when the world thought she might step back, Barbra Streisand delivers a powerful reminder. Her story is still unfolding. At 83 years old, Barbra Streisand is not simply resting on her remarkable legacy. On April 30, 2025, she surprised fans and critics alike with the announcement of a brand new studio album, her 37th, titled The Secret of Life, Partners, Volume 2. This project is not just a sequel to her 2014 platinum-selling Partners album, but a vibrant statement of artistic vitality. Collaborating with music icons such as Paul McCartney, Bob Dylan, and James Taylor, and blending generations by including Ariana Grande, Sam Smith, and Law Faye, Streisand shows that she is still very much a creative force to be reckoned with. Set for release on June 27th, the album features 11 heartfelt duets that explore love, memory, resilience, and the enduring power of connection. From The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face with Hozier to Secret o' Life with James Taylor, each track offers a different shade of emotion, carefully curated by a woman who has spent her life telling stories through song. My new album gave me the chance to work and play with some of my old friends, label mates, and new artists too, Streisand said. I hope that you'll enjoy listening to our collaborations as much as I enjoyed recording them. Her words reflect a joy not only in music making, but in meaningful connection, something that has defined her entire career. Born on April 24, 1942, in Brooklyn, New York, Streisand's journey began in modest surroundings. Her early years were marked by challenges, including the loss of her father when she was just a toddler. But even as a young girl, her voice hinted at something extraordinary. After gaining recognition on the Broadway stage in the early 1960s, she quickly rose to prominence with her debut album in 1963, which won multiple Grammy Awards, and introduced her to the world as a unique and powerful new voice. Her performance in the film Funny Girl, 1968, catapulted her to cinematic stardom, earning her an Academy Award for Best Actress. Over the decades that followed, she delivered unforgettable performances in films like The Way We Were, A Star Is Born, Yentl, and The Prince of Tides. But Barbra Streisand was never content to simply act or sing. She broke barriers. In 1983, she became the first woman to write, produce, direct, and star in a major studio film with Yentl. That milestone was more than personal. It paved the way for generations of female filmmakers to follow. Beyond her artistic accomplishments, Streisand has also been a tireless advocate for health, equity, and education. In 2014, she co-founded the Women's Heart Alliance and established the Barbra Streisand Women's Heart Center at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles. Alarmed by the lack of research and resources dedicated to women's heart health, she became a powerful voice calling for change. Her advocacy, matched by significant philanthropic contributions, has made a lasting impact in the field of cardiovascular research and awareness. While Barbra has not spoken often about her own health, her commitment to helping others, particularly women, live healthier, longer lives is deeply personal. She has frequently pointed out that heart disease is the leading health risk for women, and that more attention must be given to gender disparities in medicine. Her leadership in this area shows that she is not only a performer, but a protector, using her influence to champion life-saving causes. Remarkably, Through all her triumphs, Streisand has managed to avoid the trappings of scandal that often accompany fame. She has never shied away from sharing her values, particularly on issues related to democracy, civil rights, and the environment. While her outspoken nature has sparked political debate at times, it has also earned her respect as a woman unafraid to use her platform for good. In 2023, Streisand released her long-anticipated memoir, My Name is Barbara, offering readers a candid and detailed look at her life and legacy. It was an opportunity to revisit the highs and lows of her journey, not as tabloid fodder, but as a reflection of a life lived with purpose, determination, and creativity. Through every page, Streisand reaffirmed what fans have long known. Her story is not just one of talent, but of courage, conviction, and reinvention. Today, as she prepares to share her newest musical chapter with the world, Barbra Streisand stands not only as a living legend, but as a beacon of longevity and grace. Her ability to remain relevant, not by chasing trends, but by staying true to herself, is a lesson for artists of all generations. So what drives Barbra Streisand to keep creating at 83? The answer may be simple: love, for the art, for collaboration, for expression. Whether performing alongside Bob Dylan or singing a heartfelt ballad with a rising star like Laufey, she continues to build bridges across time and talent. Barbra Streisand's story reminds us that greatness does not retire. It evolves, deepens, and finds new ways to touch the heart. Her legacy is not just in the gold records, the Oscars, or the sold-out concerts. It lives in every artist she has inspired and every listener she has moved. What is your favorite Barbra Streisand moment? Has one of her songs been the soundtrack to a moment in your life? Let us know in the comments below. And if her story has moved you, like this video and subscribe for more tributes to the artists who define generations. Thank you for joining us in celebrating Barbra Streisand, a voice that never fades and a heart that keeps giving.